All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Farhan. I wonder who's on the line right now. I think Sohan should be on the line, and if there's anyone else, feel free to chat in the message box. I'd like to hear from you and know who which people from our community are online. All right. So we'll record the session, and then I will post it online for people who missed it, so that you have a chance to watch it later and have your questions answered. So without further ado, let's get started. Oops. All right. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Farhan. It's really good to meet you and talk to you. I am the creator of Side Note, but as you can imagine, with a big project like this, there's a big dedicated team, and I want to just quickly shout out to the rest of my team, Sohan, Thomas, Edson. They're working very tirelessly to make sure that Side Note is as successful as possible, and that you get your hands on it as soon as you can. All right. So before we go into the questions, I just wanted to remind you of what SideNote looks like, what it is, and then use SideNote itself to kind of help answer some of the questions that we got. There was a question list that we culminated and we put together so that we can answer as many of them as possible in the shortest amount of time. And if you're live, please feel free to ask questions in the chat below. Okay. Cool. Looks like Sohan's there, and thanks Sohan for helping. He'll be moderating and making sure that things are going smoothly in case anything happens. Sohan, can you just give me a thumbs up or something if you can hear me well and you can see me well and everything's going looking good on your side? Sohan, I don't know if you caught that. I was just checking if you can. Great. Cool. Awesome. All right, let's get into it. All right, so here is Side Note and the packaging. This is what you saw online. This is our early proto 1 model that we've used for the promotional materials and such things. And we wanted to show you the quality of just that, so that you can see that this is just the start. We're working on a second version that's already about to be finished in a couple weeks, so we can have a bit more feedback from that. There'll be about 5 to 10 of those units, and then we're going to follow on with the final units, which should be very high quality. So there's a lot of issues in these prototypes that we want to address. And just like I've done at Apple, right, we do many iterations of these products to ensure that at the beginning the product has a certain amount of quality, and and then and then it keeps on getting better. So looking at the chat, hi Simon. Simon is one of our really good supporters, and we really thank him. We're grateful that he's here. So cool. This is the Side Note box. I'm just going to quickly open it up and show you what's inside it. So when you order a Side Note, this is what's going to come. This is the ink color. In the next mock-up, we're going to get a couple mosses as well as a couple inks. I'm going to try and squeeze in some of the Prestige editions as well to make sure that we have all of them on track. Everything is within specification from color, material, finish, everything, so that when you get a Side Note, you're happier than we are. Right? That's our goal. Is like when you have this in your hand, you are so happy that you're like, wow, this is high quality. This is gonna do the job for me. So Side Note, you open it up. We designed it to have a magnetic closure even on the box and open up like a book, right? And then you have your welcome card and some information in case there's any issues. And we'd love to like support you through when you have Side Note. Here's the Side Note itself. This is the one I've been using, and I repackaged it to show you how it all looks. And then inside you're going to have a couple papers as well to get you started. Okay, cool. So here is Side Note again, and just opening it up. It comes with the actual Side Note itself, the pen, and the paper already inside. Okay, cool. With 40 sheets to start, and then over time we'll be developing more variations of the paper. There's some questions we're going to address, and they're very good ideas that we can also implement in the future. So let's get right into it. So opening up the questions list. Let's see, where is my question list? All right. So the first question we got, this is just an order of what we got, was from V. Witt, I believe, from USA. The question was, what color will you have in the future? Hopeful to see the maroon one being produced as well. I love the question. You know, maroon was actually, or the burgundy was actually my second favorite. I like the black and then the maroon, so I'd love to have the maroon one come in too. I think as we continue developing the product and as we see more traction, if we see people are really, really excited about it, we can go into developing more colors. So we are a local company. We're a US based company. Our team is across the world, Canada, Argentina, and Los Angeles. I'm from Canada myself. And so developing a product like this is much harder than it seems, right? You need to build a line, you have to get enough quantity of material to be able to ship it and manufacture it, right? And so you'll see the timeline for when we're shipping it is some early next year. We'll do our best to make it earlier, right? And we've given ourselves a buffer to make sure we get those products into your hand as early as possible and not later than we promised. But just to kind of give you that idea, it's like to make another color, we need to buy leather that is the same color, that color we specified. We need to manufacture the pen bodies and the pen holders themselves. This inner aluminum ring has to be a certain color. So we're going to have an entire what we call entire configuration of colors that all need to come together and make sure that one color works and can be shipped and scalable to like multiple people, and make sure that that color is the right one inside the box, so when you receive it, you receive the right color. So I love the colors that we have, the option that we have, like the ideas that we've had for colors, but unfortunately we need to very specifically choose which one the our audience and our early contributors want. But if you are really interested in certain colors or certain finishes and stuff, make sure you be vocal about it, because we will bring it in as soon as we can. All right, next question from Bonnie in Canada. I'm concerned about how comfortable it will be to write and draw as there are as there are less pages, and how will you address this issue? Thank you. Now, this is probably this is my favorite question, because this is actually something that I've been having a challenge with building as good of a product for or solving. So, I'm going to show you, Bonnie. You're totally right. This is one of the problems that we were facing at the beginning, and even in this prototype. And I'm going to show you how we are planning to solve it, as well as kind of what room we have for like future generations of product to fix. So what Bonnie is saying is, say we have this paper, right, and say we've run out. I tore this in half to show you, like, say after some time you have like half of it left, right? Writing on this can start to be a little, it could be difficult for some people, because some people, what they do is they like to hold the pen close to the tip, just like I do. And is it comfortable at all to put your fingers and your hand with the edge of this getting in the way? For me personally, I'm going to be honest. um, I don't find it too much of a problem, and I am pretty finicky with how I write. However, I know some people will feel bothered by their finger kind of getting stuck here. So, one of the things we did early on to help prevent this problem in the future is, what we're doing in the next prototype is we're actually blasting out this entire bottom edge. So, for context, we've built this entire aluminum perimeter for you to be able to protect the paper inside. So, when you have this all closed up and everything and stored and put in your pocket, right? As you take it out, you see the edges are all covered, and that's because your paper is covered and protected. Now, the downside is, yeah, you have that edge that kind of gets in the way, but we don't need this edge because you're already covering it with a leather spine. So what we're doing is, already the latest design is this whole edge is blasted away. Now that that's blasted, you have this big area to write, and it's way more comfortable to write with. So you can put a portrait like this and write across. Additionally, we are actually binding the paper not on this top edge, but on this bottom edge. That way, we have this double the surface area to write with as well. So these two small changes, seemingly small changes, will result in a huge improvement in the experience of using SideNote. So I hope that helps answer that question. Okay, moving on. Uh, Christpal or Christpal from USA said, should consider water resistant or stone paper. Great idea. I'll definitely reach out to you and the rest of the community as we go on any other kind of paper requirements that you'd have. Right now, we have high quality 100-gram paper that is that is recycled, and we actually even have a spec on the color of paper. Right now, this paper is a little too blue, so like we're taking every single detail into consideration: the texture of the paper, the color of the paper, the white point. It's called this white point of this paper is a little too blue. We want it to be slightly yellow, just a tiny, tiny tinge of yellow. Why? Because that's more pleasing on the eye, and it's also it looks better in the side note. It gives you a more premium feel. All right. Okay, cool. Next question from B. Nush from USA. Paid for early shipping. Oh, sorry. Paid for early shipping. So excited to get one of the early ones. Yeah, for sure. Thanks a lot for that. It's not really a question, but we will make sure that there's a batch that we're getting early on. This early batch are for those early, the ones that paid for early shipping, and for the Prestige edition, they will be getting it several months early. If not by, I mean, if you're watching this, I'll let you in on the secret. You probably will get it by the end of this year. That's how early we are trying to get it. We are very close to that, but uh, but regardless, whoever does get early shipping, they'll be one of the first units that we order, and then we'll ship those out. Probably by the end of November. All right, next, Shaban from USA, pen refills. So I'm excited to say that there are pen refills. So if you take a look at the Kickstarter page itself, you can see that there is an add-on for pen refills. However, I don't. I urge you to just get the refills that you like. Like this product, I'm not trying to upsell you. I don't want you to buy only side note refills and side note pens and all this stuff. If you like a refill, if you want, a gel ink or a ballpoint or something that's a D1 size, go ahead and go on Amazon, go wherever you want and purchase that and then refill it. But you can definitely refill it forever. That's the idea. Is that you have the pen and the paper as long as you ever need it, right? So cool. Next question. Tajima from Japan. Any arrangements for me to buy refills after the campaign? So yeah, along the lines, we will have refills on our page, and actually we will be looking at different types of refills. There's another question later on, so I'll come back to it. But yeah, you'll have refills. Our store, we're building it right now to prepare for post Kickstarter. What does it all look like? We will have refills for paper, for pens, for pen inserts, for notebooks, whatever you need, and future products as well. Cool. Sam Hare from Thailand. Side walls should prove to lower writing experience. If it could be addressed, it would be great. Another point is clipping of the pen. It seems like I have to flip a pen after writing to clip it inside note. I would prefer to just clip the pen in the form then I just use it to write. I'm not quite sure of the second part. We already addressed the first part, but I'll show you a quick sneaky trick that I've learned while I use my side note. This is how I use my pen. I open up side note, I slide it down like this, and then I take it out. So it's all one-handed, and then I just write. And I put it back in like this, and then I slide it down, and it's clipped, and it's all good to go. So if you saw that, that is how I use my side note, and I recommend you can use it like that too. So again, you open it up, slide it out, you take it out, write it down, you can put it back in like that, slide it, and you're all done. Cool. Adoni from Europe. Just in case pen is lost, will there be a replacement possibility? So a few days ago, we released our add-ons, and one of the add-ons I'm most excited about is the side pen add-on itself. A lot of people love side pen just because it's small and easy and portable. So you can see when it's fully collapsed, it's pretty small. You can hold it in your hand, you can put it in your pocket really easily, in your pant pocket, wherever you want. So side pen is available for purchase as an add-on. And in the future, because Kickstarter is to help us build that first or order that first large quantity to help get our costs down, to be able to build a brand and a company. In the future, you'll be able to buy them individually as well. You can buy it for yourself or as a gift, especially if you like it. And we hope you like side note, the side pen, that much that you want to buy some extra ones just for yourself. And they'll be all the different colors will be available too. All right. Jimmy from USA. Maybe having a luminous option and reusable paper. Also have an app where whatever is written is stored. So I don't know what you mean by luminous edition, but I do. I love the app idea, and actually, you kind of beat me to it. I don't know, Simon. I wonder what you think of this because you're an early adopter as well for us. But one thing we are already developing, and I'm a little bit of a software developer myself, and one of my friends is a very, very good software developer at Apple. We're building an app where you can literally point your phone at SideNote while it's open, and it recognizes the edges and the borders and automatically extracts what's written into text or even an image or SVG file. So that's what we're looking at. So say you write something like, I don't know, let's write hello world. Okay, so we wrote hello world, right? And then what the camera is going to do is that it's going to track. It knows the shape and size of the edge of this of the side note. It can automatically create a PDF scan of this paper that automatically gets downloaded onto the app and can be converted to SVG or any other file format you would want. So that's something we're working on right now, and it'll come as an add-on. It'll be a free app for those people who buy SideNote, so that it gives them the most versatility with side notes. So you can write down your ideas, and then instead of like worrying about losing them, you can save the paper. But if you want to just store them as a digital version, you just take your phone out and automatically snap them one by one, and it gets converted to most formats. That'll be useful. So cool. That's something that we are working on for very very short term, near term. Excuse me, near term, so that you can have a good experience. All right, Annie from UK. I'm eager to take side note on my travels. How durable is the leather and aluminum build? Very durable. I mean, we've done a lot of tests on like scratching and stuff. Like the one of the good things about using chrome tan, although it's not as luxurious and premium as a vegetable tan would be, is that it is very very durable. Like you can see, I can like try and scratch this with my fingers, but it's like you just rub it and it gets back to normal, which is really awesome. So it should be very durable for many years. The anodized aluminum basically makes this as hard as ceramic. So yeah, so cool. But yeah, so let me see. Simon said, I love that. I've never actually used this feature in other notebooks, even though I had the option. I feel it would be easier to use because the notebook is already linked to your phone. Yeah, exactly, totally. That's about the app. And so I'm excited to have the app for this because it should make it really a really good companion for it. It really makes sense. And we want to build products that make sense and solve a problem for you rather than build random stuff that is looking for a problem to solve. And so that's why we built Side Note, is for those people who really need to have pen and paper on the go, who need to write on a physical pen and paper and cannot do it on a notes app. That's for them. All right. Next question. Juanita from Canada. Is the pen exclusive to SideNote, or can I use it separately? Yeah, the pen, as I was saying earlier, you can definitely remove it, and you can store it back in, and you can just buy it on its own and use it on its own. So definitely you can use a pen on its own. Jonas from Europe. As an artist, I would like to use SideNote for quick sketches. How does a pen handle different drawing styles? Any other types of pen refills? Oh, that's that question that I was alluding to. So the pen refills right now, we're using D1 ball point ink, ball end pens, and so I do know that there's a big community that is really particular about what type of end they use. Is it a gel? Is it a ball? Or maybe something else? Maybe it's an ink, right? Like what's it called? I don't know the names of them because I'm not really that into pens themselves. What I am into is writing just with by hand. But we are going to open up a survey because this is a question that we've been asked several times by other people as well, that they would like to see gel or other kinds of pen inserts. And so I don't know if D1 cartridges have those options. If they don't, we will start to develop our own in-house, and that'll be one of the new things that we offer that other people don't. Okay, so cool. That does actually conclude all the questions. I'm glad that you all send them in. Now that I'm here, I have a few more minutes to just chill around and talk to you. Are there any other questions that you are wondering or I might have missed? Please feel free to ask in the comments below. I'll ask Sohan while everyone is writing, and even Simon. Um, how did you find the using YouTube instead of the Facebook, as we had done before, to open it up to more people to join these kind of live streams? Did you prefer the Facebook format, or do you prefer the YouTube format, and what are the pros and cons of each that you're thinking? Oh, Simon had sent a few on the form. Sohan, can you please copy and paste them into the form so I can like take a look at them, so I can answer some of his? Thanks. Sorry, Simon. I will address them as Sohan copies them for me. He is the master. He has all of those. You know, I've actually enjoyed YouTube a lot too. Like the format of it, it seems very simple and easy. It's been very simple and easy to just set it up, schedule it. Very clean interface. I really like it. I mean, they've designed it well. So I think if you liked it too, it'll be something that I'd probably do in the future. Okay, Simon, question number 1. From Canada, Simon from Canada, where did you first think about this kind of, when did you think about the first think about this kind of notebook? Very good question. About 10 months ago, my friend Thomas and I, Thomas lives in Argentina, and we had worked on another product before. Actually, I'm going to look for it. I want to show you that product I worked on. And we launched it on Kickstarter, and it actually did not go so well. Just give me a moment. I'm going to find it. All right. I think you'll find this interesting. This is from the annals of history. So my friends and I, other friends at Apple, myself and Thomas, we launched this product. We call it Horizon, okay? And the company was called Far Future. So what it was is it's also MagSafe, and it's this clip that you attach to, you know, a jacket like this or like a backpack strap, and you put your phone like this, and it uses the rear camera to take your point of view, to film, you know, your point of view, so that you can go about your day hands free, and get that recorded from your point of view. So let's just say you're a cook or a chef, or like say you're an artist. You can focus on doing that art and start worrying about where the camera angle is and all that, and you can make sure, and you can be sure that it's going to be very similar to what you're seeing. So you'll see these ugly gizmos on the chest or maybe on the hat or something. This was supposed to be a more sleek, elegant, lightweight, simple tripod mount for those people. All right. So we developed that for about a year and a half, and unfortunately, it didn't work. It didn't go as planned. Um, After that, we were thinking, okay, well, what went wrong? What are other things that we're doing day to day that we would like to like solve and fix? When I go to China, every time I go to China, I have a little notebook like this that I put in my pocket, and I go and I write down notes as I walk across the lines. That's because at Apple the security is so high that I'm not even allowed to take my phone with me, because what happens is when I go to the manufacturing line, some people take their phone and take pictures of the manufacturing line, and they leak it online so people can see what's being made, right? And so there's a security just like airplane security, and you take off all your metal stuff, and your phone and everything gets taken off. And if I was approved to take my phone, quite frankly, but many people have stickers over their cameras or not even allowed to take their phone at all. But even with that, because I had all those restrictions, I preferred to just have a notebook with me and a pen, and I would write down notes as I walked down the line, and I put it in my pocket because I couldn't take a backpack either. So there are situations like this where you really cannot have technology with you, and from that came this idea of making Side Note, which is a pen and paper that is really nice, reliable, doesn't crinkle and bend and like get ugly and, you know, messed up in my pocket. The pen is not going to be too long, and all that stuff. Okay, cool. Thanks for the comment there, Simon. We can chat more about that product as well in the future. Something that we might bring back, because I know that a lot of people are interested in that product, because it does solve a problem for people mounting their phone on surfaces. Okay, cool. Next question from Simon. Um, do you plan to visit the factories where Side Note is made? Will we see some behind the scenes? So you will see behind the scenes, and I hope I can visit the factories. So I'm working on. I'm also the CTO of another company called Hoop Fit. It's a AI basketball technology, and that's my main job right now while I do this on the side. And HoopFit is basically this, really advanced AI robot that you attach to the net of a basketball rim, and it follows you wherever you are on the court and passes the ball back at you on demand. So you raise your hand and the ball gets passed to you, and it can track how you're playing on the court and all this stuff. And I can talk to you more about it later. Some other time I go into details. For that project, I'm going to visit the same factory that's making Side Note. It's the same company, and so yeah, if I do, while Hoop is being made, I have a plan to go sometime early at the end of this year, and at the same time, I do plan to visit the factory to see how Side Note is being made. They're making that robot. So I know this will be very like easy peasy for them, but yeah, just that's that story there. Simon, if you want to hear more about any of that stuff, definitely comment below and I can get more into it. But yeah, I do plan to go sometime by the end of this year, and you will get pictures of it though before that because we've asked them to send us pictures when they start manufacturing. Okay, any plan on making a side mechanical pencil? I love that. That's such a good idea. What about the mechanical pencil are you interested in? Is it the size, the shape, like the attaching to the side of the notebook? What about it do you think would be useful to you, Simon? The anticipation is killing me. Simon typed away eagerly to answer the question. In the meantime, Farhan narrated to give the listeners a chance to listen. Erasability, or however you spell that, if that's even a word. I see. Yeah, I mean, I would assume that because you want it to be a side pencil, right? Like the question always, you're an engineer too, right? As far as I interact with you, um, but I understand that one of the things I've learned is try and solve problems for people, right? Because when you solve problems for people, people want to purchase the solution to that, right? And so my question when you say something like, "Hey, let's make a mechanical pencil," is what does it solve that is different than just having a regular pencil, right? Now, for a side pencil, I would assume that you just want to be able to carry it with you in your pocket and not need to worry about having one, right? And in that case, yeah, having it, on the side like this, having this red thing, maybe as you like press down like this, it or like it automatically, maybe there's a button back here that like pushes out the nib. Yeah, that all makes sense, right? And that would be the feature I would focus on. Is like a pen that has a pencil that can attach to this, that can be carried very easily and can be collapsed into a very small size. And then eraser is a very interesting point there because then if I have the press back here, we need to make sure that there's a way to erase, or a way to refill the eraser, and that kind of stuff, right? So if it's more about having a pencil to write with because you like the feeling of writing with a pencil, that's easy to solve. But if it's about having an erasable, tool, right? That's a bit more challenging because at that point it's like, okay, the paper needs to be strong enough to take, that kind of like erosion from the eraser. The eraser needs to be swappable, but also need to look cosmetically nice. And you need to make sure that the dust doesn't get everywhere and that kind of stuff. So though it's a bit more challenging, much more than you might think, mainly because that experience needs to be beautiful, right? We don't want to make it feel like a school toy, right? This has to be a professional tool for anyone to use. But it's a great point. We'll chat more about this as time goes on, I'm sure, about how could we bring a pencil in, because even Thomas loves the idea of a pencil. He's an industrial designer, and so he'd love to have that. Yeah, so then that's easy. So Simon says, are there gel friction erase D1 cartridges? If there aren't, it's just the ink, right? The ink is that chemical that allows you to erase like with fire or with any heat, and then that would be an innovation that we would do. It's like, okay, let us make it so that the D1 ink that we're supplying is a erasable one, right? We would still need to have some sort of eraser that can generate that friction, but otherwise, yeah, it makes total sense to do something like that, which is like a gel, a friction based, thermal based D1 cartridge that can be erased, right? So good, great point there. Cool. I think that's all of Simon's questions too. I think that's everything we have, all the questions we have. Yeah, and it's about 30 minutes, so we're just out of time for the stream. I'll hang out for a few more minutes if there's any other questions from anyone. Even Sohan, I don't know if you had any questions, any burning questions about Side Note. Yeah, the chat does. By the way, the chat does come a bit later than I can I than you think. It's like maybe 20, 30 seconds, but yeah. Awesome. Great. I'm really glad you spent the time with us, Simon. And I know that you can be in many other places. For everyone else, it's recorded. I will put the link onto probably one of the newsletters coming out, and also somewhere on the Kickstarter itself. Probably like somewhere down, it'll be like Q&A number one. If you have any other questions after the stream, please feel free to share and ask us. We are happy to answer as many as we can. We are trying to build a good product for you that is made for you, right? We went on Kickstarter because we believe this is a great community that enjoys or cares about these kind of products that can help people be, better in their lives. It's meant for people who really love writing and love carrying writing instruments and tools in their pocket. Um, and we hope to be another North American company that is high value, that adds value to the world, and doesn't force you to download unlimited apps and like be distracted by your phone, and not be thoughtful in the way you use your products, in the way that you use your time. That's the key, right? That's something that I learned from my time at Apple. I built the Vision Pro, and that's what I was alluding to. Remember last Simon, on one of our early live sessions, the Vision Pro is insanely amazing, like crazy, right? One of the most powerful products in the world right now. Um, but it will change how humans use technology, and perhaps not for the best. And that's because we will not be able to be mindful and thoughtful in how we use our time, because we're going to want to use our time to be in a place that is not real, right? It's artificial, because it can be built into any wonderful thing that you can imagine, right? But I prefer to live in the world that we're in, because I think that it itself is wonderful, right? There are experiences and people and things around us and difficulties that all culminate into helping you become a good person and the best person that you can be. And that's why Side Note is just one example of one idea that I'm trying to see, like, does anyone else share that vision, that being thoughtful and mindful of your time and writing things down instead of typing them up on a notes app or on the keyboard? Like, does anyone else cherish that? That's my hope. It's like, let me put it out there and see how many other people cherish that idea. So yeah, I hope that helps you understand more about the ethos of Side Note and why we made it. And yeah, this is philosophy. Yeah, actually, I have a lot of philosophical books. Yeah, yeah. What's the most unexpected place you had a brilliant idea and wish you had a pen to jot it down? Actually, so I don't use my Side Note because I'm scared of damaging it. But I've been better and better about like remembering my ideas. I literally had one 2 days ago. I was walking. I Every morning at 6:30, I do a walk. So I wake up at 5:30, and then I get to the gym around 6, and I work out for like say 6 to 6:30, 6:45. And my favorite thing is to walk with the sunrise, because the light, a lot, like if you watch Andrew Huberman, it helps you wake up. It helps you, feel better about the day or be ready for the day. It's also inspiring. So while I walk, I try and observe things around me to see, what are the weird things happening in the world right now that I can help out with, right? And one of the things I noticed was we had sprinklers that were sprinkling the park, and sprinklers, the way that the water is ejected is in a circle, right? And so if you have sprinklers in your lawn or in gardens, you'll see that there are a lot of circles, and they have to be close to each other, because you're going to have dead zones where you aren't getting water, right? Because a circle is not the best shape to get, essentially you want squares, grids depending on the shape of your lawn, right? And Because of that, you have a lot of overlap. So water is wasted in those overlaps, or you can have dead zones, which there's no water that gets to the grass there, right? So I noticed that this is exactly what is happening in the park, where there are so many sprinklers. A lot of it is just getting on like sidewalks and stuff. A lot of water is being wasted, and you can perhaps design a square shaped sprinkler shape, right? But water pressure doesn't really work like that, right? Like it wants to be, it's like a constant pressure and ejection. It'll want to be consistent in a circular motion. I don't know exactly the reason behind it, like the mathematical, the engineering reason behind it, but what I understand is the water can't be just ejected in a square shape unless you have some special nozzle, right? Now, on top of that, you have to change every single one of those nozzles, right? And if you have a personal garden, you need to find ways to implant all of those sprinklers in your garden somehow to have like an automatic sprinkler. The other way is taking a hose and doing that. We don't know how much you've gotten, how much water you've got in different areas and such. So I was thinking, wow, like watering, yeah, hexagons will be better, exactly. Um, but what I noticed was like getting water is pretty inefficient right now, like to water places like gardens and grass and stuff. And I think there's a need to have water on the grass. I think there's a need to have beautification in our cities, right? Because if you don't have grass, if it's all dead and yellow and ugly, people are not going to be happy living there, right? So there is a place, and of course, if we need to give people water to drink, that's more important, right? But if we are going to spray the gardens, how do we make it so that we save water and do it efficiently? That was my question while I was walking down. So it's a long answer to your question, Sohan, but this is what I was thinking. Literally, all of these notes and ideas is what I was thinking, and I would have written it down. But one idea that I came up with during that time, and if you want to take this idea, definitely take it. Anyone, I don't really care. Like ideas are, I think, a dime a dozen, um, and whoever can solve the problem, that's more important, right? But one idea I had was, what if you could create some sort of water painting robot or something like that? So imagine a Roomba. A Roomba follows really nice, clean lines and vacuums every single part of your house very well, right? Imagine you had this robot that is like has four wheels, and you can take your phone and scan your garden or your lawn, and you attach a hose to it, and then the water is sprayed and painted, and exact amount of water is sprayed across the lawn and in all the areas that you need it, and you're not wasting water. You don't need to overlap, and you get to cover the entire lawn right away, and you know exactly how much water is being pumped there. So that can be something for like commercial use as well, like for like say a stadium, but it could also be for a home use, for it's like for your front garden or something, or for front lawn or back lawn. So yeah. Anyways, I thought of all this stuff just 2 days ago, and I wish I had some paper to write. There's more things that I know I forgot while I was observing that I wish I had my side note for to write down and think of, or like capture. Yeah. I hope that answers your question well, Sohan. Cool. Awesome sauce, guys. Well, thanks so much for tuning in, both of you, and anyone else. I don't know if there's anyone else on the chat, but or live, but I really appreciate your time. Thank you guys so much. And let's catch up again soon. Feel free to reach out. You can reach us on the Kickstarter. You can reach us at contact@side-note.org. You can reach us, you know, any way you can. We will be there. We will definitely be there to answer your questions as soon as possible, within 24 hours at the very latest. And yeah, ask. We're here to help you. We're here to be there for you, and we're here to build the best product we can for anyone who is interested in capturing their ideas. Take care, everyone. It was really good seeing you all. Bye bye.